everybody, it is Amani from Amani Reads and Reviews. I hope you guys loved that intro that I've done. That's going to be for the 25 days of Hallmark movies, and you will see that every day for the next 25 days in December. So I hope it's festive enough and great for the holidays. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen. So we're going to be doing a weekly update. So today we're going to talk about what I'm currently reading. I'm going to talk about my favorite books, my favorite TV shows, and my favorite movie that I kind of watched. Well, it's not really my favorite movie, but it is a movie that I watched this week with my family. And then we're going to talk about what's going to be happening new with this channel. So I'm currently reading Working Through It by Kasha Thompson. So far in this book is about two adults who are working in a church, and they used to date, and their name is Michaela and Travis. So Michaela is kind of this girl who grew up really privileged. She grew up with the big house, the big cars, the nice everything. And her father is the pastor and owner at this church. So she dates Travis, this guy who I guess they kind of grew up together, but Travis definitely did not grow up with the flashiness. So he kind of sees the value and making an earnest living for yourself and not just being handed something. So this two pair, they kind of break up, and then for some reason the father decides, hey, you know what, how about you all work together at the church, and they're basically going to run the singles couple event for the church. I don't know if y'all ever been to church, but they have these groups where married couples, single couples, children, blah, 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 like that. So they're going to be running it together. And so far, Travis and Michaela do not get along. And when you break up with somebody, y'all basically hate each other. And this is pretty much what's going on with Michaela and Travis. So far, all I can say is Travis is engaged to another young lady in the book, and they're claiming that this book is supposed to be some type of romance. So I really, really hope he doesn't break that girl's heart, because it seems like he rushed himself to get married to somebody just because him and Michaela work out. I don't want this to be a romance book, because so far it's kind of toxic. They work together at a church, and Michaela and Travis are literally yelling at each other, calling each other out of their names. Is just really disrespectful to one another. And also with Travis, it was just one part in the beginning of the book where he mentioned something about how she pretty much was born with a silver spoon and pretty much judged her for it. So I feel like this type of book, I'm definitely going to read it, because the author, oh my gosh, like, so far I am really intrigued by the book. I really like all of the like the details that she puts in this book regarding the church, regarding just the couple, their lifestyle. Honestly, Black Baptist, I grew up Baptist, and I'm telling you, like, this is kind of like home to me, because I've known people like this. So far I really like it, and I hope that it becomes a softer romance book, but I really hope that it does not affect the young lady Travis is currently seeing. So, anywho, I'm going to be doing a review on this book, so you guys stay tuned for that. All right, so you guys know that one of my favorite shows currently is Abbott Elementary. So this week's episode was the egg drop episode, and basically in this episode, the 8th graders at the elementary school, they had a chance to show off their science, techniques, and do an egg drop, and all of them were really successful. So with Janine, she decides, you know what, I think my kids should do this. They're in 2nd grade, mind you. So she does this big theatrical piece where she's just like, you know what, it's going to be a great opportunity for my kids, and you know what, I'm going to do it. Although every other teacher told her, do not do it, it's just really not good for their age group, she went ahead and did it anyway. And guess what happened? A whole bunch of 2nd graders dropped these eggs, like and they're crying because their best friends are dying. Like this little boy literally said, "Oh my gosh, this egg is my best friend," and he's like gone. And when you really think about it, that's like crazy. Like when you, oh my gosh, the entire episode was hilarious. But I felt like Janine, Janine, so much in the show, she does that, or she just really needs to prove herself to everybody that she can do something, she can do it. So what ended up happening, Gregory had to teach her what um, physics was. So she said something in the show where she goes, after Gregory taught me physics, I didn't even know, so I had to still watch a few YouTube videos to figure it out. So once she watched her YouTube videos, she kind of went back to the class and she taught her second grades a basic way to understand physics. And they ended up doing a project with balloons and helium with the eggs, still with the eggs. And guess what happened? The project was going very well until the eggs and the balloons flew up in the ceiling, and the fans swung the eggs and they end up cracking again. So yeah, that was the gist of the episode. It was just really funny. But anywho, on to the next episode. So we're going to be talking about Welcome to Flatch, and this is also a favorite of mine currently. And this episode was really, really good. So Barb, Shrub, and Kelly, they go to this tri-state convention for realty. So what happens is, Barb and Shrub, they're just, happy-go-lucky old young couple who do really gross things. They realize where they are, and Barb realized her ex-husband is actually like the keynote speaker for the event. So she gets really down in the dumps because the man kind of really treats her really bad. He kind of tells her that her basically what she's doing without him sucks, and he tries to like lure her back into his room and whatnot. So Barb, being how she is, she just kind of feels like, you know what, I don't need to be with Shrub anymore. I need to get back to doing what I need to do. So the entire episode for Barb, she was just really down in the dumps, and she didn't even do anything she came there to do for the realty convention. Now on the other hand, Shrub, him being young Shrub, he liked the intimacy stuff in the relationship, and he literally mentioned like, hey, I know we broke up, but let's do it like one more time. I was like, are you kidding me? But they end up breaking up. So Shrub had a rough weekend as well. But on the other hand, Kelly has been doing an amazing job since she's been working with Barb. And I really like that for her in this role. Like, she is on it. Like, she had to pretty much talk for her team. She had to talk for the realty business, and also talk about Flatch and how important Flatch is and why they should send investors to Flatch. And she ends up going to meet with a really famous, really out there realtor who decided, hey, you know what, because if you pitched Flatch the way you did, I'm going to go ahead and invest in Flatch. So the end of the episode was pretty great. Her and Shrub actually ended up going to this jacuzzi and ordering so much food on Barb's ex-husband's tab, because in the episode he kept bragging about, hey, I'm in a penthouse suite, I have everything on my card, if you want something just let me know. And because he treated Barb so bad, they were just like, you know what, we're gonna put everything on his tab. And you know what, they did that. Anywho, now we're going to go to the movie that me and my family watched, which is Window and Wild. So this movie was really, really interesting. This is something that I haven't really, I would say I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't in the cartoon form that it was in. But I do appreciate the movie because of the diversity, not only the like the people of color, but also like the different aspects of like belief systems, people with their personal preferences. And then look, people of color, that's pretty dope. Like, I just like that aspect of the movie as well. The art style was just beautiful. I loved all of that stuff. Even at the end of the movie, they had did this like little film where they showed you how they made the movie, and I love watching that stuff because Pixar movies, they do that all the time. I love to see the the producers kind of make the movie and see how it plays out. So this movie is about a young girl named Kat who had a pretty troubled childhood. She lost her parents at a very young age, and what happened, she believed that it was her fault what happened. And they were at this event in their neighborhood, and the little girl had an apple, and she was in a car eating the apple, and she realized that the apple was pretty much decayed, so a little worm came out of it. And then her parents were driving. The father turned back and ended up crashing the car, and it was already late outside. I think it was just the weather was probably the fall, and they ended up passing and falling in this lake. And then the young girl had to swim her way out to safety. So after that travesty happened, the young girl believes that it was her parents died, so she lived her whole life as a child to like a teenager, believing that she was the cause of her parents' accident. And her life, the way her life is, she deserves that, basically. So she's been pushed around and pushed around to many different places, foster care and everything like that, until one incident happened at school where this big old boy pushes her, so she pushes him. So I'm assuming in the movie that she may have offed him on accident. He was already bullying her to begin with, but because of what happened to the boy and her ending up in a jumpsuit, like a prison jumpsuit in shackles, I just think that she may have done something that would have caused more than just pushing somebody down the stairs for that young boy. So she ends up going to another reform school until she ends up going to the Russ Banks all-girl Catholic school, where she ends up meeting a lot of interesting people. So they have this trio of girls at this academy where they're just, really snazzy, snoopy little girls, but they were really nice. And only because Kat ends up saving like the leader, who looks like Nicki Minaj, but she just does because of the blonde hair, like Nicki Minaj back in the day. But anywho, they end up saving her. So the young girl becomes like, and her name is Shaban, by the way, but Shaban becomes a great friend with Kat. So they kind of start to look out for each other in the movie. So everything starts to get completely crazy when Kat, she has like some type of like dream, I'm assuming, or some type of premonition where she's like, okay, I need to go find this bear. She finds this bear, and it's a bear that belongs to this like demon hunter guy. And basically she had to use this bear to summon Wendell and Wild, who are the demons that are going to bring back her parents. So because of the life that she's had, she's just like, you know what? I want my parents back. I will do anything to have my parents back. So she decides to conjure up demons to try to do that. But you know how these demons are, they're crafty. They say they'll do something, but they really aren't. And in this case, Wendell and Wild, they they really wasn't trying to help the girl. They just came there so they can try to build their amusement park. And um throughout the movie, we kind of see Wendell and Wild in a way. You know how when we think about demons and stuff, we don't think of them as being like scurry type of beings. We think of them as being like really terrifying and such like that. But for some reason in this movie, they are really cowardly. And the father is somebody who isn't the father himself doesn't seem like a demonly type of guy. He's really concerned about his children. He really loves his children, by the way. And he just wants the best for them. But because his children are kind of like knuckleheads, he had to always have his eyes on his children. So Wendell and Wild, they steal their dad's hair cream, and the hair cream is basically what Raul, this other friend of Kat's, end up getting just so he can save Kat's parents, right? So that's kind of all. I hope it's kind of all over the place, but basically, Wendell and Wild came there for an amusement park, and towards the end of the movie, they were their cat because they realized that like the demons in this movie weren't as bad as Shaban's parents. Shaban's parents were the ones who were corrupt and were the reason why technically, although cats like after Cat's parents died, everybody started passing randomly, so it just messed up the economy and the city. So Shaban's parents, they are pretty much the owners of the city. They want to build this big old prison center, and because it's going to bring money to Rust, the city Rust, although it's not really going to help the, local citizens and everything like that. So Wendell and Wild and their father kind of help Cat and the other citizens of Rust pretty much get rid of Shaban's evil parents because they were behind everything. And honestly, they may have been behind that rotten apple that Cat had to begin with. So, thing I did appreciate about this movie was it was just a really interesting concept to me. They kind of made the demons good in a way. And a lot of people kind of have mixed opinions about that, but this is really like the second thing I watched where they try to make the demons like the good guys. And when you really think about that philosophy, like demons and angels and this and that, they were technically all angels until one of them decided, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing, right? So they're all these magical beings, but like it's like I don't know if you guys ever heard this saying, but they say that demons are kind of like they rule the realm of like Earth, like where we are, or whatnot. So it was like the dad and then Wendell and Wild, they just kind of came up when they were summoned, and they were pretty much trying to like what Wendell and Wild was trying to make their amusement park, and like they actually did make the amusement park, and they kind of let Cat decide what she wanted to do as far as her parents or whatever. And that was the only thing that we saw. Like the movie literally cut off after that. But what I'm assuming what happened was they were able, like anytime Kat really wanted to, she was able to see her parents at this amusement park. It was a beautiful, beautiful amusement park. Even Wendell and Wild's father was really impressed by it. So yeah, that was the movie. I hope I explained that to you all properly. If not, you can watch it on Netflix. It's not bad. It's a pretty decent movie. I absolutely love the art style. It was something really different. And a black goth, you don't really see that a lot. I only seen that probably once in a blue moon in high school or whatever. But a lot of people really enjoyed the movie that I watched other people's reviews on. I thought the movie was okay. It's definitely not something that I'm used to watching, but it was not bad. And I'm a really huge fan of Jordan Peele, and he was one of the producers for this movie. So, anything he has, I'm gonna watch. Honestly, he's really talented. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about what's new for this channel. So starting tomorrow, or actually today, because you all most likely will be watching this 5 p.m. Monday. So I'm going to be doing reading sprints for the remainder of this month. And I hope you all can, join me. I'm going to be reading for 2 hours a day, um, just getting caught up on some books that I want to review and such like that. And I just think this is a really great way for me to meet new people, introduce myself, and also just have like new subscribers come my way or whatnot. That's what lives are for more people to kind of come trailing in. But come read with me, and I would love to hear what you guys are reading, or write down in the comments what you all are reading, any suggestions that you may want me to read as well. And the biggest thing, what we're doing next month, is the 25 days of Hallmark movies. So I hope you guys are really interested in that, or have friends who may be interested in it. So far, I'm really enjoying the movies that I'm watching. Yes, they are a bit corny, but you know what? For the holidays, it's super, super sweet. So I just want to kind of like do Hallmark related content for December. And on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And goodbye.